Okay, so if you're running a business, you know how critical training is. But let's be honest, it can also be a massive time suck. Today, we're going to break down how one simple piece of technology, an API, can connect all your different systems, put your training on autopilot, and really unlock some serious growth. So let's start with a question I'm pretty sure a lot of you have asked yourselves. Does managing your training system feel like it's creating more work than it saves? Like it's this little island totally cut off from everything else in your business? If you're nodding right now, trust me, you are not alone. You're probably living in the world on the left here, the old way, right? Juggling spreadsheets, manually typing the same employee info into 3 different places, and always working with data that's a little bit out of date. But what if there was a smart way? Just look at the right. What if all those systems, your HR, your training, your sales tools, could just talk to each other automatically? Well, that gap between your systems, that old way of doing things, that's what we call the training data trap. And it's basically a black hole where your team's efficiency just disappears and, costly little mistakes are practically guaranteed to happen. So, how do we get out of that trap? Well, the solution is a powerful but honestly a surprisingly simple idea called an API. Just think of it as a digital bridge that finally connects all your separate little islands of information. So what in the world is an API? The full name is Application Programming Interface, but you can just think of it as a universal translator for your software. It's basically a set of rules that lets different programs talk to each other. So for example, it lets your training platform, your learning management system, or LMS, chat directly with your HR software without you having to do anything. And here's a super simple breakdown of how it works in the background. Your training system needs to know about a new employee. Instead of you typing everything in, the API sends a quick request over to your HR software. The HR software hands over the data, and boom, the API delivers it right back. It's instant, it's automatic, and it requires zero manual work from you. Okay, so that's the techie part. But the crucial question is, what does this digital bridge actually do for your business and for your team? How does it help you move from just surviving to actually thriving? The most immediate impact? Just look at this chart. It is staggering. The difference in administrative hours between doing things manually versus having an API automated sync is huge. And all those hours you save, that's not just about efficiency. That is precious time your team gets back to focus on the strategic work that actually grows the business. But it's about so much more than just saving time. As you can see here, these API connections unlock some really key benefits that directly fuel your growth. We're talking streamlined onboarding, way fewer human errors, access to real-time data, and the ability to actually scale your operations without everything falling apart. Let's just take onboarding, for example. Imagine this. You add a new hire to your HR system. The moment you do that, their profile is automatically created in your training platform. The right courses for their specific role are assigned, and they are literally ready to start learning from day one. That is a powerful first impression and a massive win for efficiency. All right, so let's get practical. Let's look at some real-world examples of how you could put these smart integrations to work in your own business. This is where the theory really becomes reality. This table shows just how useful these things are. You can connect your training platform to HR and payroll to automate all that tedious compliance training. You can link it to your CRM to tie learning directly to sales numbers. You can even integrate with content libraries like LinkedIn Learning to keep your material fresh, or with tools like Zoom and Teams to make virtual training a breeze. And here is a really powerful one. By linking your training platform to a CRM like Salesforce, you create a direct connection between learning and revenue. Just imagine your system notices a salesperson's conversion rates are dipping. It could then automatically assign them a targeted product refresher course. This makes your training proactive and smart, not just reactive. Now, of course, building these digital bridges, it isn't always a walk in the park, so let's be realistic and talk about some of the common hurdles and how to navigate them successfully. You've really got 3 main things to keep on your radar. First, there's software compatibility. You gotta make sure your different systems can actually speak the same language. Second, and this is a big one, is data security and privacy. That's absolutely non-negotiable. And third is just the reality of ongoing maintenance to keep these connections running smoothly. But look, navigating these hurdles is totally manageable if you have a clear plan. This 5-step process is a great roadmap. First, know exactly what you want to achieve. Then, choose a training platform that has really good, well-documented API support.
Definitely talk to IT experts to avoid common mistakes. Always test everything before you go live. And finally, just keep an eye on things and optimize as you go. So, why does getting a handle on this stuff right now set your business up for success down the road? What's the long-term play here?
Well, the simple truth is, the future of all business software is interconnected. APIs are the fundamental building blocks for that next wave of innovation. Things like AI-driven training that customizes learning for every single employee. Getting this foundation right today means you'll be ready to adapt and thrive tomorrow. Ultimately, this quote just says it all. Connecting your learning systems with your other tools, it's not a nice to have anymore. As it says here, it's a competitive necessity. It's about way more than just being efficient today. It's about being able to compete tomorrow. And so, that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Are you still operating with a bunch of disconnected islands of information? Or are you ready to start building the bridges that will connect your business for real future growth?